Today, we're joined by Sean Driver, the experienced force behind Corinda Bloodstock and a syndication pioneer with over 1,000 winners to his name. We'll explore the remarkable story of Private Harry from a $115,000 purchase at the English Classic sale to a multi-million-dollar contender and what made him stand out from the start. Sean shares insights on syndicate strategy, balancing big money offers with ownership dreams, and the key partnerships with trainer Nathan Doyle. With Corinda legacy bridging generations, this is a conversation full of heart, instinct, and racing smarts. Stay tuned for a deep dive into one of Australian racing's most compelling success stories. Perfect. Well, glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate.
Excellent. So prior to seeing Private Harry in the ring, what was the pedigree research that helped you shortlist him for viewing?
Look, the pedigree, like his page is quite awful, to be fair. First and foremost, we look at dam sires. That's very important for me, is the dam sire, and I'm not too fussed on who they're by or what they're out of. It's more so the dam sire and if the mating correlates with the sire. So I look at the mating, if that works, and then purely on type. All we want is a horse that walks well, has a good attitude, has a nice, good, strong hindquarter, deep girth, and just moves well. Like we don't have the budget to buy horses on pedigree, so we need to make sure that we're fishing probably sub 400,000, and which probably seems like a lot of money these days, but the way things are trending, your average horse is probably 260, 280,000 now if you want a nice horse. So we sort of need to go fishing in between those and find what slips through the cracks. And if you look at his page, a good friend of mine, Luke Pepper, he trained his mum, and she wasn't much at all. So, but look, he was just a beautiful mover and had a great attitude.
Excellent. And when you first saw Private Harry at the 2023 English Classic sales, what specific physical attributes, made you think this is an athlete, like not just a pedigree?
Just so light on his feet, moved with ease, beautiful hind action. I love a big, strong hind quarter and a big hip. You don't see many good horses with a small hip. That's just one of my attributes I like in my horses. Everyone's different, but he had a big hip, and just the way he moved behind and the big apple bum that he's got, and his attitude to match. Like he's absolutely bomb-proof now, and he was then at the sales as well.
Excellent. So you have syndicated over 1,000 winners over the past 35 years. How did you structure Private Harry's ownership to maximize both, affordability for your clients and also potential returns?
Well, firstly, we've only been a registered syndicator for about 6 years.
Okay.
But we had 700 acres, and we bred and raced all of our horses, and so we have exceeded probably 1,150 winners to date. A lot of them we bred ourselves. So we never had owners involved. It was always just my grandfather. He owned every horse himself. He had no owners. And when he passed sort of 7 or 8, 9 years ago now, that's when we trended towards the syndication business model, because it is the future in Australia anyway. So picking horses was always easy for me because I've been around them since I could crawl. So that answers that side of the question. And then how do we attract owners, did you say, for Private Harry?
Exactly.
Yeah, basically we just buy the horse and it's on spec. Like a lot of our horses, we don't have orders to cater for. So we buy horses that we want to be involved in. So we stay in every single horse like every other owner. So that's what every owner that invests with us, they can be reassured if they're investing in a horse, we're also in that horse as an owner as well. So we bought the horse, and to be honest, he was slow to syndicate. Harry Angel, I believe, was second year season, but like in Australia, it was his first year. And I can guarantee he wasn't that busy. Like there was no inquiries. Well, I think we still had shares in him. We bought him in February, and I still remember it was October that year, and we still had shares left in him.
Wow.
So he wasn't popular. I kept trying to get as many good owners as we have in the horse, and I said this horse he just gives me a really good feel at the farm because we have our own farm obviously, and yeah, they just give you a certain feel. The better ones have an aura about them, but some stubborn owners didn't invest in him. I bet you they wish they did now.
I bet. Excellent. How do you balance, the syndicate's owners' dreams of keeping their champion with the commercial reality, of multi-million dollars offers? And what conversations did you have with your clients about, the year-long opportunity?
It's a good question. A couple of good questions. First and foremost, it was pretty tricky because when we won the Galaxy, the interest started straight after the race. Yulong and Mr. Zhang went and looked at Private Harry literally in the tie-ups after the race, and walked him up and down. And so I knew they were interested straight away. And then Coolmore and Newgate were also interested. So they were the three parties that were interested in buying him. And it was quite tricky because naturally you sign NDAs, and I can't say too much. Even so much so that I had to keep things quite professional and quite constructed in a manner that I could only say certain things to the owners, because if the owners did leak to journalists or publicists or whoever it is in the public, naturally the sale could fall through. So I had to find that happy medium of what information I could provide and feed, because naturally I wanted the best deal for the owners. We're only a part owner in the horse, but some of our owners had 20% in the horse.
Wow.
So that's life changing. And and expectation wise, there's such a good group of owners in that horse. I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate that, let's be honest, like a 20% share was, say $30,000. So, when the offers came flooding in of what they were looking at receiving, they weren't unhappy. That's for sure.
And you have seen plenty of, promising horses fail to live up to expectation, I guess, within those past years. At what point did you know Private Harry was really special, and how did you manage the syndicate's expectations during his rapid rise?
He showed us a lot of promise as a 2-year-old, but he just physically wasn't ready. So we tipped him out. He actually, if you watch his first ever trial, he went terrible. It's the first time he's never ran first in his life. So he ran second last in a trial, and we thought a lot of him. And Nathan and I, like my trainer of Private Harry, and I looked at ourselves and went, "Oh no! Like, what's going on here?" We weren't worried, to be honest, because we thought a lot of this horse. And anyway, we went back to the trials in 2 weeks, and he put 4 or 5 lengths on the field, just boom, just brained it. And it was a good field at Gosford, and a couple of those horses have gone through and won group races since as well. So we tipped him out for a break. We brought him back in and gave him another 2 trials. He won those 2 trials, and he was just showing immaturity. We x-rayed his knees and treated him like a good horse, and he just wasn't ready to be pushed. So as tough as it was, or as tempted as we were, we tipped him out for 9 weeks. We brought him back in, and he had his first career start as a 3.5-year-old. And it wasn't until he broke the track record at Newcastle first start, but it wasn't until his next start at Hawkesbury where he won by 8 lengths, and he broke the track record that day too, on the bridle, and it was a 17-year track record. So Ash hopped off, and he rang me on the way home. He said, "I think this thing is the best horse I've ever sat on." And just the data alone, he was showing us some special things. And just pulling up like he wasn't even going around. Like he's so clean-winded and he's just a freak. So that's probably the moment we all took notice of him, was his Hawkesbury win. And as you know, like the good horses, you just keep throwing them in the deep end and they just constantly just keep stepping up. But I'd say Hawkesbury was the day.
Excellent. Talking a little bit more about Nathan Doyle, you chose to partner with him when he had about 40 horses. What did you see in him that, bigger operations missed, and how has that relationship evolved through Private Harry's success?
Yeah, well, Nathan's fantastic at what he does. He's got great staff. He's had some very good mentors in Mark Newnham and Peter Snowden, and I think he'll be the first to say probably Mark Newnham was his most valuable mentor. And so I like the systems that he had in place. And when I purchased the horse, I said to Nathan, go and look at the colt, and if you like him, you can train him. And he liked him, so naturally he was given the horse. And we just let our trainers do their thing. We don't get too involved. Like if they call and they ask certain questions, yeah, sure, like we can obviously talk about it. But I think it's important when you give a horse to a trainer for them to have the control somewhat. That's just my opinion. It's just like if I send my car to a mechanic, I'm not going to stand at the front of the car and tell them how to service it. And there wouldn't be anything more frustrating than doing that. So, sure, like we might talk about programming or jockeys is not a chat anymore because Ash, no way Ash should hop off. So, but yeah, like for example, not many people know, but I think we're not going to go to the shorts first anymore. We're going to hit the Concord because we're running 2 weeks early. So that's sort of breaking news. We're going to go to the Concord first up. No one knows that, so you're the first that knows it.
Excellent.
He trials in 12 days at Rose Hill.
Okay. Wow.
And he'll trial 2 weeks later at Rose Hill again, and then go to the Concord, the $1 million race at Randwick. And it just gives us options. If we draw a bad gate, we don't have to go there either. But if we draw well and get the job done there, and then if we draw poorly in the shorts or the Premier, the pressure's off. Like we've already got a run under our belt. But Nathan's just a fantastic operator, and he's a trainer on the up. And I just think it's important to let your trainer do your thing. And if you find that you're constantly micromanaging and getting involved, then probably not the trainer to have for the horse that you have.
I don't know. And talking about earnings, so Private Harry has earned over 1.9 million in prize money from a $115,000 investment. How do you explain this kind of return to potential, new syndicate members? And what does it mean for the future value of Corinda horses?
Look, I'd like to say it's easy. I'd like to say to every investor, I can guarantee you this, but you just have to be honest and transparent. These moments are very far few in between. Like this horse is a unicorn, and we all get lucky sometimes. Like let's be honest, there's a lot of luck involved. No one, like we're not better than the next person that doesn't have Private Harry. We just got lucky that the horse that we liked turned out to be a good horse. So I think if you throw enough darts at the board, you will hit the target. You've just got to be active. You've got to throw enough darts. You've got to it's not so much be a numbers game, but as long as you're buying frequent enough yearlings, you will get a good one. And so I just tell our future investors, look, this can happen. You've seen it. It can happen. It's rare, but it can happen. Don't expect that it will happen, but you've got to be in it to win it. It's a lottery, isn't it? That's what it is. It's a gamble. The whole industry is a gamble, but we just put the expectation out there. What you invest, just throw it away. Like that money, just forget about it. Like if it's $5,000, just act like you're throwing that $5,000 in the bin. And anything else is a bonus. And enjoy the journey, enjoy the ups, enjoy the downs. If the horses get injured, enjoy the times where we have to rehab the horse and because when the horse gets back on track and it does win, there's no better feeling. You don't know what highs feel like if you're always at a high unless you hit a low. So um, that's what I would suggest to owners is just be realistic about your investment, and it's very rare for things like this to happen.
Excellent. Well said. Now, talking a bit more about your family. So, looking at your grandfather's 700, as you mentioned, acres, Hunter Valley, still legacy, and now, this Everest success. What does Private Harry represent for the next generation of Corinda Bloodstock and your family's racing story?
Yeah, it means a lot. It just adds a little bit more recognition. A good horse, it's very it's just a way of life. It's funny how what a good horse can do for you and your business, and how people tend to respect you a little bit more, which I find quite interesting. Certain people might not want to talk to you until you have a horse like this, so it's important to keep your circle tight and trust your circle that's always been around you before Private Harry was around. And they're the people that you can trust, I can assure you. So all of our trainers, we're very, very close. We're very tight knit. We have a tight circle, and all of our trainers get along. And for our business moving forward, it's huge. Because not only when he retires, he's going to go to stud, and he'll get the opportunity to, we'll see little Private Harrys running around. So and hopefully they're half as good as him. So it's massive. It leaves a big legacy, a 10 to 15 year legacy, and you'll constantly see his name in there in the second dam or third dam, and it's going to be quite a spin out when I see the yearlings going around.
Do you think it add more pressure as well?
Pressure's off.
Pressure, sorry.
The pressure's off now.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, now the deal, like once he won the Group 1 as a 3-year-old colt and we got the stud deal done, the pressure's off. Like everything moving forward now is a bonus. That doesn't mean we're complacent. I can assure the public we're not complacent. We're as hungry as ever with this horse, and I'll be doing everything that he wins the Everest, and I think he can win the Everest. So. And then I want to go to Royal Ascot next year, and that'll possibly, we'll sit down with Yulong, and that possibly might be the fairy tale ending. But yeah, like the pressure's off in a sense that he doesn't have anything else to prove. He's got a stud career for life. But this is only the beginning. The way he's come back, I think a lot of people will be shocked. He has improved so much. Yeah.
And on to the last question. What would you do with the $20 million prize money if Private Harry wins?
For the Everest?
I get yes.
Well, half of it will go to Yulong. and they don't need it. Mr. Zhang, help brother out, please. No, look, look, money doesn't change myself anyway. Like for the owners, it's life changing. But whether I've always been taught to treat someone, if they've got $1 or $1 million, you should treat them with respect either way. So, excuse me, money doesn't change the way I think, or doesn't change the way we do business. Yes, it's a success for sure, and it's a good story, and trust me, it'll be a great time in our lives. But you've just got to move forward. You've got to stay hungry, and you've got to find the next one. So I think you just need to stay level-headed and ask Mr. Zhang and Yulong to partner up in another one that we find.
I'm sure you'll find a bit of a celebration to do, I bet.
Hopefully it's his shout.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that. That was great.